This week at Interior. In response to attacks on America's monuments in our nation's capital, Secretary Bernhardt this week requested additional federal resources from the Department of Defense, including the National Guard. The Secretary said the scope of the violence and the destruction since the protests started weeks ago have been significant, and that criminals have vandalized national memorials and monuments, ignited sacred sites, attacked law enforcement officers, and destroyed countless businesses. After visiting Lafayette Square, where the Andrew Jackson statue was vandalized, he said, "We will not bow to anarchists. Law and order will prevail and justice will be served." Across the country, some elected leaders of our cities have expressed enthusiasm and support for these criminals, exhibiting an undeniable unwillingness to protect law-abiding citizens and their property. We live in the greatest country in the world, and I thank our dedicated law enforcement officials who stand tall against these coordinated attacks and seek peace and justice for all. For the full statement, visit DOI.gov. President Trump directed Secretary Bernhardt to designate the John Hope Franklin Reconciliation Park as an official member of the African American Civil Rights Network. The directive formally recognizes the historical and national significance of the Tulsa Race Massacre of 1921 and Dr. John Hope Franklin's work to advance the African American civil rights movement. Dr. Franklin's son, Dr. John W. Franklin, said his father would be pleased that the National Park Service is adding Greenwood's story to the network. In Florida, Secretary Bernhardt announced more than $54 million in federal and matching grants to support outdoor recreation and help boaters keep America's waters clean. The funding comes from the Clean Vessels Act and the Boating Infrastructure Grant programs. The Trump administration has generated more than $212 million for these programs since 2017. Secretary Bernhardt proclaimed this week to be National Pollinator Week, saluting the hard-working animals that help pollinate our flowering plants and crops. Through its bureaus, Interior is always working to encourage the health of pollinating animals throughout North America, what the Secretary says is an important example of collaborative conservation. The Bureau of Land Management is asking for the public's help to prevent wildland fires, most of which are caused by people. Right now, the American Southwest and Alaska are experiencing significant wildfires, and more states could see the same outbreaks over the next few months. BLM says fewer human-caused wildfires will allow our wildland firefighters to focus more on wildfires caused by lightning, which cannot be prevented. Thanks to the enduring and successful conservation efforts of federal, state, and local partners, the Fish and Wildlife Service has removed the Borax Lake chub from Endangered Species Act protection. Threats to Borax Lake and its namesake chub have been eliminated or greatly reduced, and the fish no longer meets the ESA definition of an endangered or threatened species. Fish and Wildlife Service Director Aurelia Skipwith visited Interior Region 1 this week, taking part in the reopening of National Wildlife Refuges. At Great Bay National Wildlife Refuge in New Hampshire, she released a New England cottontail rabbit as part of a program to enhance the wild population of rabbits in the area. And our social media picture of the week, the winner of the 2019 Share the Experience photo contest, Sam Jezik, with his photo of Redwood National and State Parks in California. Sam takes home a $10,000 prize, and his photo will be featured on the 2021 America the Beautiful Pass. See all the winners at sharetheexperience.org. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. That's This Week at Interior.